So I'm going to do a new query window, I think. What is this? This is somehow not going off of my screen. I don't know why. So I'm going to use Community Assist for the examples. Underscore assist. Okay. So you ready? So this will be for joins. And there are different joins are really about bringing tables together so that you can see things that normally would go together. For instance, if we did just a real quick, I'm going to select a star from employee. Just to show, you guys have probably looked at this. If we wanted to know what the employee name was, right, all we've got is a person key. That's what's linking it together with the person table that has all the names and emails and stuff. So if we wanted to see what that name is, we'd have to join this table to the person table. So I'm going to do select, and we'll do like person, last name, person, first name. I think there's a person email, right? And I'm also going to do employee hire date. I guess we could do employees. Do we want their salary in here? Now notice I've listed fields from two different tables. When you do a join select clause, you just list all the fields you want to see in the order you want to see them. Don't worry about what table they're from, right? You just list them all. So this is from two different tables. And I'm going to basically just say from, and you can say whichever table you want, but it always makes sense to me to do the primary key side. So I'm going to say from person. But then we need to join it to the other table. And I'm going to write inner join employee. There's one other piece of this you have to do. You have to say how those to each other. So I have to say that person key is equal to employee person key. Right, so this is the primary key, and then the foreign key that connects them together. When I do that, I can join the two tables together, right? We'll get a result. Just real quick, I'll run it. All right, so we have the names of the employees as their hire date. Does that make sense? I don't hear yes. Yeah.
In that table, does that person key have to be defined as a?
It does not have to be defined as one primary key, but it has to be the field that relates the two tables.
So it doesn't have to be in the primary table. I mean, in the employee table, like a secondary or foreign key.
It doesn't have to be a foreign key. You can make it work if you have. You do have to have that relationship. It'd be the same as the relationship between a foreign key and a primary key, but it doesn't have to be specified as such. There are people who in their databases don't define them as keys, but they still have to have basically that relationship. You could actually join this with employee key, but it would be meaningless. You would get answers, but they'd be totally wrong. Because it's basically matching an int to an int, and as long as there's some sort of match, it'll return the data. Does that make sense? There needs to be a field that actually ties them together. Couple of other little things about this. I'll just copy multiple versions here. One is that the word inner is optional. You could just do join. Joins by default are inner joins. There are other kind of joins, and we'll look at that. But inner join, I usually do use the word inner because it makes it clear that it's not an outer join or a cross join or some other kind of join. But you don't have to. Join works just the same. One other version of this I'm going to do just to show you. You can, if you want, you can alias these tables. Notice I have errors now, the alias. The thing about aliasing the tables is it can make it so you have a lot less typing to do. So employee is just E, so I can just do E, P is P. The only thing I would say is that if that's you, to avoid it, right? I usually alias things like that, but if it confuses you, avoid it. I'm also going to do person key up here. I don't know that you would necessarily want to see that, but it will throw an error up there. Notice how it's red underlined? Anybody have an idea why there would be an error there? If you highlight it, it says ambiguous column.
Because it doesn't know where it's pulling it from.
Right, it could be from employee. So, whoa, all right. You have to alias it also, or do the full table name in front of it. So if I'm going to use this, it's in both tables, right? So the query can't figure out what do I take it from person or do I take it from employee. So you have to tell it which to take. But notice since I've aliased the table, I have to use the alias up here. One of the things about SQL statements is that they are not processed sequentially. If you were in C#, this would make no sense because we haven't defined the alias yet, right? Because it's procedural, it's within the commands. SQL is not procedural, and it does not necessarily, it isn't processed that it says. The first thing that SQL would do is look at the two tables. Then it would determine the fields. Then it would, resolve the relationship. So it may seem weird that you've used the alias before you define it, but if I do person up here, it'll throw an error. If you use an alias, you have to use it. Okay. Questions on those? So this is just the general inner join. This is the just join, right? Because inner is optional. And then this one is, actually that was the one above that. No? I changed it in that one, inner join optional. Okay. I thought I copied it again, but I didn't. All right. What if we wanted to see not only the person, but also what their position is? So I'm going to just real quickly do select star from employee position. Right, so this is a linking table where we have the position key in the, right? And then if we wanted to see what the positions, we just look at the positions. So let's say if we want to bring it all together. So first I'm going to do from position. So there's like 5 positions, right? So I'm going to try to bring all of this together. Is we want to see the last name and first name of every employee, their hire date, their annual salary, and their position. Does that make sense? Okay.
Steve,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can open it.
What person? That actually should be okay. I think you spelled them wrong. You put
Okay,
an R
got
in
it.
it. Yeah.
Thanks. Sorry. Copy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you have a question or?
I was having errors, so I'm just trying to keep up. I don't know what the errors are.
Person key has to be, and this one, it has to have a P in front of it. P dot person key. So I said it's an ambiguous column. It can be in more than. This one, we didn't alias the table, so you have to actually do person dot person key and employee dot. So that's the first version up here, where it says person dot person key and employee.
Can you maximize that? So that it's instead of just pieces.
I'm not sure if I maximize, will it stay on screen? No, it does. Okay. It wasn't maximized because I thought it might go off screen. Okay. So this one is without aliasing it, and then you use the whole table name. This is called qualified, a qualified column. So this is the table name dot column name, table name dot column name. You could do, you can qualify even further. You can do database dot, actually it has to be database dot schema dot table dot column name, server dot database dot schema dot table name dot column name. You can fully qualify. It's possible to query across servers, not databases. So if you have an employee database, like a human resources database, if you need to get information for your daily business day, you can use databases. Okay, so let's bring together everything. Just to show you how to do some long inner joins. Now, inner joins, by the way, only return matching records. Right? Match with an employee. There's like 500 employees. or not alias? Which
No,
would-
go ahead.